Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to another speed build video. So today we are building a Christmas family home. This house has 2 bedrooms, living room, kitchen, study area, and then like a little back room, which I was not really too sure what to do with, but it ends up just being like a kind of like kids play area in a way. This will be my final build of 2017. And yeah, probably the last Christmas build as well that I'll be doing on my channel. So I hope you've enjoyed these. I certainly have enjoyed making them and just doing something a little bit different to what I normally do. Yeah, so if you have any suggestions of what you would like to see in 2018, then just please pop a comment down below and let me know. The thing about doing YouTube is like trying to create content that your viewers want to see. So, you know, if anyone has any ideas of what they would like, then just comment down below and let me know and I'll be sure to try and make it. So I did want to try and make this a small family home, but in the end it ended up being quite big. But I don't know, I think I quite like how it turned out. One of the biggest difficulties I had was doing the roof, because I do find when I'm doing builds that all my builds are like pretty much the same, like in terms of the roof structure. So I wanted to like experiment a bit more and just try something new with it, like basically layering different types of roofs on top of one another just to create like a nice flowing design. However, to like start off with, that didn't exactly happen how I wanted it, so I do end up going back later on and like taking off the roof, because there was like this really weird bit of clipping that I didn't really know how to fix. So it's like when you go to the upstairs bit, you can't actually look at the like bedrooms or anything without having the walls down, because the roof kept on clipping in it. So in the end, a bit later on, I end up taking it all off and then like basically just redoing it because it wasn't working. So yeah, I fairly like this one. I was also, as usual, I was inspired by something that I saw on Pinterest. I think I might start like linking the links down below so you can see like what I start like with the picture that I start with, and then how I adapt it and kind of like not go off it anymore. But the thing about like copying something from like you see online or whatever is that you never see the back of the house. So I always struggle when it gets to this point where you're having to design the like back of it. And for me, doing like the landscaping of a house is, I just hate it. I always leave it to last, and at that point I'm always like, oh, I can't really be bothered. But yeah, so I did try my hardest with this one. I do a bit of landscaping and it doesn't actually turn out too bad in the end, but I don't know, let me know what you think when you see what I do with it at the end. So yeah, one of the biggest struggles that I always find with my builds is choosing the right windows, and I do and ah about it for quite a long time and like swap them all around, and it just, yeah, windows for me just don't work. But I don't know, I'm pretty pleased with the floor plan. I normally, when I do my builds, I tend to put like an entrance room, but I'm trying to like not do that anymore and just kind of like do builds which are a bit more open, not necessarily like open plan, but like for example in this one I've tried to make the floor plan flow a little bit more, so we've got a lot of rooms that are open by using archways instead, and as you come through the front door it opens up straight into the living room hallway area. So when it came to like doing the interiors of this, I wasn't exactly too sure of what I wanted to do. All I knew is that I didn't want to do something as modern as what I normally do, and I would kind of imagine like this being the sort of household that like grandparents would live at, and you know, you've got everything here for like the grandchildren for when they come and stay, or it could be that maybe the parents are a little bit older. I do feel like this house is very adaptable, but when I was building it, I had it in mind that it would be potentially for older people. So a lot of the decoration is not modern like I normally do it. I was trying my hardest to stay away from doing something modern, and I think I accomplished it in the end. I think there's just one room round the back that was a bit more modern than what I was going for initially with this build, but I don't know, I just can't stay away from it. I just love doing modern builds, so like doing something like this is really challenging when I want to put like big TVs and like a nice modern kitchen and everything. So to save myself from the hassle of doing it later on, I did a little bit of the landscaping at the front. So we just got some flower beds at the front, I suppose. But again, that was because at this point I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do with the build. I did want it to feel like nice and cozy, because obviously it's a Christmas build, so we end up putting in like Christmas trees. And like I was saying, it's very adaptable. This house is not just a Christmas house. All you need to do is take the Christmas trees out and like the fairy lights from outside if you were thinking of using this build later on in your games, which is like after Christmas. So yeah, if anything, it's just like a nice cozy household. And again, I'm quite happy because I managed to use items that I don't normally use. And yeah, I just wanted to feel nice and cluttered. So in the corner in the living room, I put a couple of shelves up, which I just fill with books and little odd items. I didn't realise, and I only realised this when I was doing the screenshots, that actually the some of the items that I put on the top shelf is it accidentally, I think, goes through the ceiling a little bit. I didn't realise that, but hey ho. So obviously if this was to be downloaded from the gallery, which I will put up later on, it will all need to be like resized slightly and put back on the shelf. But yeah, so it's a bit of a cramped space, the whole living room, but I kind of felt like if it was a like grandparents' house, then it would be full of stuff. Old people tend to get the most out of their room and space, so that's exactly what I try to do here. But yeah, overall I think it's very cozy. Got a nice 3-seater sofa, nice little armchair, and yeah. So that is like pretty much the living room. We do end up putting a Christmas tree in the corner and fill it out that way. And like one of the things that I hate about, well, I don't hate it because I actually really like that fireplace, but I kind of really wish that the shelf above it was like you had the option to like easily place items on top of it, or even like the brick of the face of it. I would really have loved to like being able to like attach a TV to it, but for some reason that is not an option. So I do try and put a nice wreath on there, but it ends up just floating in midair, so yeah, it doesn't work. So yeah, the only option is to actually put items on the very top, which doesn't work if you've got short walls like I use in my builds. But yeah, so I didn't do too much with this area in the end. I think the majority of my efforts go into the kitchen, and seeing that I do all my builds, when I do my builds I always start with the kitchen. I'm trying to make a massive effort not to, and to like start with other rooms first, even though I do find with the kitchen it's like a good way of like setting up like the whole look of your house when you're building. But I'm trying to stay away from that, just so all my builds aren't starting with the kitchen and then going on to a bathroom and then going on to the living room, and so on. And And I've noticed as well when I do my builds, especially with the kitchens, I always start by putting in too many counters, and then I'll always like take them out and rearrange and put like a cooker in one area and then able to put the sink and the fridge in. I just find it really useful of like knowing what space there is and like what you want to take out and what you need to keep in, as well as like keeping with all the work surfaces that you need. But yeah, so I quite like this because it's not like overly modern. It's like I've used a lot of dark wood like everywhere, and a lot of the wallpaper that I've used around has the dark paneling on it as well. So I do like how everything is like very muted browns in this, and it's like a lot different to what I'm used to. I'm quite used to doing builds that are all like nice and light and airy and have lots of space, but like this is like completely just out of my comfort zone when it comes to building. But I do love it. I do love doing something a little bit different to what I'm used to. So yeah, the kitchen area, we have all the essentials. This is also like all open plan, so it's also a dining room. Got like a nice little, that little corner sofa thing, which I absolutely love, and I'm really like wanting to do a build that has like a bay window just so I can put that in. I think I was supposed to do it with this one, but I ended up forgetting in the end because I was, for the exterior, I was following a picture. So yeah, we just putting all the essentials in, and I was a little bit inspired by the gingerbread house build that I did. If you've not checked that out, just I shall hopefully link it on the screen. And yeah, so in my gingerbread house build, I put like, I have done this in a previous build which I don't think I recorded, but just putting like a nice little bench as like a little work area, and that's quite handy for like freeing up work surfaces and like putting a bit more clutter. It's quite nice for like putting that little cake stand, I think it is, even though I didn't do it this time, but that's quite handy. And it just means that your work surfaces are like cleared up a little bit more, and it's quite nice to add like bits of greenery onto it as well. And I kind of wish we had like, I know we have basil plants for like outside, but I would have really have liked to have like herbs for in the kitchen. I think we kind of maybe would have got that if we had like the off the grid stuff pack that everyone was voting for, but alas, I think people wanted like laundry instead, which I can't wait to get. I don't know why, but like when I play Sims, I really like to have realism in my game, and making my Sims do like really mundane tasks of doing laundry, I find that really fun. I know it sounds really lame, but I'm sure that's why that pack was voted for, because people get to do like the mundane, well, they like to do the mundane tasks of doing laundry. But yeah, so I'm quite looking forward to getting that one. So far that is the kitchen all done. I kind of like left it at this point and came back to it the next evening, and I just was like, right, this roofing is not correct. I've never seen that happen with anyone else's on their builds, so I didn't really understand why it was happening on mine, but I knew that it was just something that I needed to fix. And what I got in the end, it was like a little bit different, but it did end up working. So and I think also like the outside is now more interesting, and I was able to add more windows as well, just so that upstairs, rather than kind of being in like a loft area, it is a lot more brighter, have more windows out. So I think it's a win-win that I actually like sorted that out. So, and there's no clipping on the roof as well. So just going on to the study area. I love doing studies that are like really regal and like important looking. I kind of like imagine the family that would live here, say it was older, like older generation of Sims, that they'd be like very well to do. They've worked hard for their house, and this kind of area would be like a nice area, I suppose, for the dad or the granddad to do his work away from the kids and the hustle and the bustle of the household. So I don't put too much in here in the end. I like the idea that we've got 2 nice big bookshelves, and put some nice art on the wall and some chairs for when people come in. Like maybe when the grandchildren come in, they'll come visit Grandpa whilst he's working and sit patiently and have a little chat to him. But yeah, so that is the study. So this back room the back room is a room that is a little bit more modern. However, I did want to keep with like the clutter of like an old person's home, and perhaps like not so modern as what it would be. So in the corner we have like a nice little TV area, because I kind of felt like the rest of the house is all like really nice and together, and like in the back is where like the children would play, and I put down like a games console and just some bits and pieces, and just it's at this point that I decide that I need to add like children's bit, because at the end of the day one of the bedrooms upstairs is for a child. So I kind of always like when I'm building, I always forget of like adding children's items until it like comes to the bedrooms upstairs, and I always forget about it, and then I'm like, oh, like I've just built this whole house with like as a family home in mind and not actually added anything for children. So with this one I was quite determined to make sure like I add that before actually like going on to the upstairs. And then of course, because this is a Christmas build, we've got more fairy lights around, like lots of wreaths and garlands, and yeah, I don't know, I just really like this little back area. It's a bit more relaxing than like the front 2 rooms. So moving upstairs, I have solved the issue of, just doing a nice stretch there. I solved the issue in the end of having the clipping of the roof inside just by lowering it down. So this house is 2 bedrooms. Upstairs we have, it's a bit of a weird shape, and the main bedroom is quite oblong, but as bedrooms go there's still like quite a lot of room. This is where I'm like, oh, I just need to do something modern with the bathroom, but then I'm like, oh, but it just won't go with the rest of the build. And also I was like umming and ahhing of like, I didn't want to put just a whole shower in there. Like I kind of feel like a bathtub would have been more suited for this build, but that being said, I just didn't know how it would all fit together in terms of having a bathtub and the sink and the toilet. So we ended up sticking with a shower in the end, and like the tiles, like the wallpaper from the Parenthood pack with the paneling and the tiling is probably something that I'm probably going to use in a lot of my builds, just because they're so handy when you don't want to do like a super modern bathroom. So yeah, so the bathroom is fairly small, but it does work, so that's all that matters. So the hallway is fairly plain. I've just put like a little futon, is that what it's called? I don't think so. I've put like a little chair along the side, so yeah, there's not really much going on in the hallway area. It's quite small, so you've just got like the doors to all the rooms. There's not really much wall space to put stuff on. So yeah, the kids' bedroom, I've done this as a like twin toddler room. Obviously this can be adapted depending on what Sims you move in here, whether you take a bed out or you change them for like child's beds or teen beds or whatever. And yeah, I just put lots of like little toys and bits on the wall, and just made it look really nice. I quite like the colouring that I've done in here. I've done like a greeny reddy like wall at the top and then blue for the rest of it. So moving on to the master bedroom, which is the final room that I'm going to decorate. This room has been left quite light and airy, which I was trying so hard to like stay away from, but we did it anyway. However, the wallpaper that I used again has the panelling, but it's a little bit old-fashioned. It has like a nice little like flower print on it, which I have never used before. So in terms of like using items that I don't use, this is definitely the build for it. And yeah, I just can't get over how nice that the bed is from the cats and dogs, and like the nice prints that come with it, and the fact that it's got like nice pillows with it as well. I just love it. But yeah, so in terms of like what we actually do with this room, we've just got like a nice dressing area at the end. Oh, I always do this. I always like remember items that I should have added and then always like forget to. So I was really wanting to like add some like vanity bits for the vanity table, but I forgot, so obviously add that in if you do so wish. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the interior. Just going around the back now and doing the landscaping, which is, you know, as everyone knows, is my favourite. Obviously just adding more fairy lights because it is Christmas. I really liked I think it was like The Sims 4, where you could like actually add lights to your builds around Christmas. Oh, it's with the seasons pack, so that's why. Oh, please, please, please let the next expansion pack be seasons. But yeah, with The Sims 3, you could actually like add Christmas lights to your build, like during the winter season, and I would just love to have that back, but please. So I've had to manually like put lights all around it, which if this house was being used like later on in the year, then that might be a bit of a pain to take it all off, or you know, it could just be quite nice to keep it on. So yeah, the garden, I do not do too much. I just add like a nice little, I don't know what that thing is called in the corner, but it's a nice area, and I end up putting a chessboard there, so I thought that was quite sweet. And then yeah, I normally like tend to put barbecues in my gardens, but I was like, nah, they can do without one. They don't need a barbecue in every single build that I do. So the garden is just like a nice little like play bit for the children, and just a nice little sit down area, I suppose. I go through and just add some planters ready for anyone who was to move in. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope you like the screenshots. Please let me know down below what you thought of this build. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hopefully I shall see you next time in the new year. Have a great Christmas, everyone, and see you later. Bye!